great.
Will she be able to play?
Huh?
Will she be able to play?
Who's putting the tweet out? Anybody put a tweet out yet?
Maybe.
Maybe? All right. We'll see. She's doing great, though. She's doing great.
She's able to go, would it be like a minutes restriction thing, or?
Nope, we're not going to, we're going to put her out there when she's healthy. She seems to be very healthy and moving towards being closer to 100% than not.
Dawn, do they seem excited to be in a position where they can claim a share of a championship with a win on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, this team is resilient. We've played bad, probably worse than, we anticipated at some points in the season. Yet we find ourselves right here with a goal in mind. We're more than likely to be a great crowd. I think and they want to win. They want to win. So it's not a game in which you got to motivate.
It seems like you and Mississippi State have been, the face of the SEC, and when you guys play each other, it's been happening the last few years. What is it about this rivalry that's developed over these couple of years?
Well, I think once you figure out that you keep seeing the same familiar face when the regular season is on the line or the tournament championship is on the line, we build that rivalry through winning championships, and that's what you want. You don't want a fabricated rivalry. It's a rivalry because usually some type of championship is on the line.
Don, looking back at your first game with Mississippi State, what things are you going to have to turn around so your team can have a positive result?
Rebound. I mean, rebound is a big key, and we gotta put 4 quarters together. I think we've shown that we could play with anybody in the country, for a quarter or 2 or 3, but never have we put together 4 quarters, and we got to do that against good competition.
Is this team going to be just another game for you guys, or is it more emphasis because of the time of year that this kind of game is before the tournament and things like that?
I mean, it's a championship game for us. We have to approach it that way. Not as far as preparation, but as far as the amount of energy, the amount of, playing after the adrenaline has worn off, that type of thing. You got to stay pretty engaged and pretty locked in because of it, and also because at this stage of the game, the small window of opportunity to be great, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller for our basketball team, and you gotta be able to lock in those instances to win and advance.
You played Mississippi State once this year. Are they any different than they've been the last few years? Are there some new faces that are kind of maybe doing some things different for them?
I mean, they're the same team, They don't stray too far off from what they do best. They stick to what they do best, and they're pretty efficient at it. So he's got a system that he likes to run. He implements players, and they seem to respond to the way they need to play and to be successful.
McCown's been a handful for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Have you picked up some things on how to stop her, maybe slow her down these last couple of years?
I mean, the games that they've lost, people have slowed her down. You got to be willing to stick your face in there and guard her with her physicality. If you don't, she's gonna run all over you, and that decreases your chances of winning. So, I mean, we got to do a much better job with McCowan.
And win or lose Sunday, I mean, there's probably a strong likelihood, I know first things first, but that you'll wind up crossing paths with them next week up in Greenville.
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they are, right now the team to beat. So their record indicates that. So if you're getting an opportunity to meet them again, for us, it's probably going to end up in a championship game, and I'd love to be in that championship race.
How much did you look at the game they lost to Mizzou? Because that's a mutual opponent, is that any help to you guys?
I look at all the games that they lose because you see a kink in the armor, and you try to gather some things from there and hopefully execute it a little bit. But our personnel is a lot different than Oregon, and it's a lot different than Mizzou. So, but you take little things, little conceptual things that they don't handle. They don't handle well. But the bottom line is McCowan's the key. McCowan's got to be the one in which, You know, you gotta pick on her from an offensive standpoint, and then you can't allow her to, you know, do the things that she likes to do, rebound the basketball and turn over that left shoulder.
You mentioned rebounding. How do you go about stopping a player that big and that strong?
I mean, you gotta stick your face in there, and there's no different ways about it. You gotta be able to, you know, hold your ground, stand your ground, and you know, hopefully you can get in her space a little bit, because when you're not in her space, she's pretty automatic down there in the paint.